Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and here is my finished project here. This is the Motion Manta Ray, and it's a 1973 model. One of three built by Joe Rosen himself at Motion Performance. Quite an interesting car. Very unusual, as the partnership between Baldwin Chevrolet and Motion Performance had kind of faded. I had read that Baldwin Chevrolet was sold to somebody else, so a new ownership, and the interest in building custom performance cars had dwindled on their side, so they really were not too concerned about it. Plus, the emissions and everything that was going on by that time, so that had fizzled. So it really happened between 68, 67 to about 71, 72-ish, but by 73, and then the performance was kind of fading, and they were getting a little bit more into customs and stuff, which is what this car is. Now, they did do a couple of different versions of these, but the Manta Ray, this one's kind of a blend here. It's got a really tall spoiler, really pointed rear end and everything, and being that there was only three made, this one represents the small block car that pretty much still exists and is known. And there were two other cars, both big block cars, 454. One of them was built to the hilt and was pretty much a race car, and it got wrecked supposedly early on. The other one kind of disappeared, but there is a YouTube video of possibly that car claiming that it's been found and hasn't been restored, and there's a video of that. It's a pretty interesting video. Don't know of its true authenticity, but I believe it. But it's just cool seeing that particular YouTube video of that car. So there's two of them, and that one's based on a 69. Now, when Motion was doing these conversions, he didn't necessarily start with a brand new car either. Not really known if this 73 car was built in 73 and at period, or if it was built later. I couldn't really find anything about that. But he did sell some of these kits as well. So there are cars called catalog cars, but supposedly he built three himself, but he did sell the parts and stuff to do it. Now, what makes this one kind of unique is it pretty much has the GT front end on it, if you know the other Corvettes. So it's got the L88 style hood, but a little bit longer for the 73 body. The GT style headlights. Instead of the Mako Shark, which he built 6 of those, the Mako Shark has a very similar rear end, different taillight treatments. 6 of those were made, but it has a completely different front end where the headlights are under the bumper. And same thing, they were built from different year Corvettes, mostly used Corvettes or whatever the customer provided, and he built that. But same thing, sold kits. So there are a few more of those out, and they're a bit more radical in the shape and the front end and everything. But very interesting cars. My main interest was the actual GT cars. I thought those were really cool, and I got to build a couple of those. I'll show them kind of later in the video. I pulled out all of my Baldwin Motion builds that are done, some older, some newer, and I'll try and get a group photo of all of them for fun, just to get them all together, a nice group shot. But this car, it's been around. You can find lots of videos on it. I tried to replicate it kind of as close as possible without really sweating all the details. I mean, it's got a pretty much mostly stock interior, but you really can't see in there. There's no rear window that's visible. On the real car, these slots are functional, but it's very hard to see out that back window. Plus, this really tall spoiler. And then I had some challenges with the decals and everything. But she came out pretty cool, as far as getting the underside done. This one's a curbside, so the hood doesn't open. It's a full-on resin kit. It's a big, solid chunk body. And it took quite a bit of work, but I'll get more into the build and a little bit on it and show some of the other ones. But we'll take this outside and spin it in the Arizona sun so you can see what this bright red looks like in the sun. Well, here we are out in the Arizona sun, showing off this bright Corvette red here on this 73 Mako Shark. And the black there. This thing looks good in the sun, that shine. Those headlights and those big pockets. Do kind of like that 73 nose. You know, that continued on all the way till the 80s with some updates. The unusual chrome bumpers in the rear. Kind of a 1 year only, the 73 doing that. But of course, this thing with all of its Mako Shark body mods and everything, and the L88 hood. Man, she does look good though. Those side pipes. You know, all in all, she came out quite a good looking Corvette here. Very unusual. As much work as this actually took to clean up and get it presentable, I like how this one came out. It's a lot of work. Wheels and tires, getting them to fit, getting a rake up a little high in the back. That's the way they were, the independent suspension. And those motion stripes. Taillights came out pretty good too. The detailing on the rings there. The pinstriping on the spoiler and the striping. The front turn signal lenses and marker lights. The plates. I had to find something to put on there, these plates. And those wheels. But yeah, that's came out really, really nice. Put that gas cap off to the side. But just following the reference pictures of what I'd seen of the, you know, couple that still exist, one or two that exist. Anyways, we'll continue back inside and continue on. All right, well, that's always fun. So when it came to this, I started with a resin body. It's a kit that hasn't been available in quite a long time. Matter of fact, I didn't even know it existed. I built other Baldwin Motion Corvettes on the channel, and Mickey Gerace, he saw my video, and he actually produced this kit and another one, which you know, has been on the channel. And he contacted me, and we had actually done a little bit of business before in the past, before I had my channel or anything. So it's kind of funny to realize that. It's like, hey, yeah, I bought these other resin parts from you when you were doing some resin stuff, but I did not know about these, but it was more than 20 years ago. But he still had this kit, and it was a little rougher as far as, you know, it was buildable, but it just had a lot of flash, cleanup areas that needed some work. But he had a set of the decals too, so this kit was pretty much complete. Just needed the donor kit, which he let me know was the AMT 70 Corvette Snap kit. And so I had to find one of those, which for some reason the Snap kits are a little harder to find. And especially when you're looking for them, it's kind of funny. When you're not looking for them, they tend to stumble in my lap. But, and I used a couple of little parts here and there to dress it up, but I used its chassis. I didn't worry about the side pipes hooking up to them and everything. It came with the resin wheels and tires, so pretty much everything on the outside of the body was all there. It came with pretty much the whole resin interior. It was pretty much the same as the AMT one. So I kind of mixed and matched what was less work to deal with, using the plastic interior or using the one he supplied. So some parts were nicer, and you know, when it came to the kit steering wheel, the headlights. Now there's some photo etch emblems. Those were left over from some leftover parts that I gotten from Jerry Chevalier when I got his GT kit from him. I bought, you know, some extra stuff from him that he had left over. The same kind of thing. His resin kits were no longer available, but you know, like most resin casters, have some extra kits lying around or extra parts, and that's kind of what happened there. So, you know, with the Mickey, he did this kit too, so I'll probably pan this out a little bit here, try and get more room here on the table. But he had done this resin body also, so I did the Phase 3 GT of this one. But I wanted to do an early body one with the regular stock headlights and taillights, and he provided this kit as well. And this is the one, when he showed me this, that's the one I really wanted. This was fun to build, and I'm glad it's done, and it looks great. But that's the one I dreamt about. I wanted that one to go with my other GT. So built this one on the channel a year or two ago. Most of these I built on the channel. But I was super excited to build that one. So I got these two going there. And then the one that kind of started all of that was, here's the one that's been on the channel from Jerry Chevalier right here. So this is the later Phase 3 GT, and it's got the Shelby scoops on it. Now, I hate it when the camera does that. But it has the Shelby scoops on the side. And there's only one car like that. But when it comes to these Baldwin Motion cars, they were all custom built. So no two are exactly alike. So I had to build that one. And then, of course, the one that Revell offers. I gotta get it to stop doing that. I built this one. Had to do that one because I wanted a bit more accurate one of that. So I built that one. And then, of course, you know, here's this one. This is my old build, but it's right out of the Revell box. And that one's when the kit first came out. So that one's many years old. And same thing with this Camaro. That's my original build from when the kit first came out, which I believe that one's been on the channel. So got all those. And then last is my Chevelle. This is the Revell kit also. There's a video of that, but it's just getting a little crowded in here. Let's see if I can move some of these around here. But I'll have to get a white one. I got plenty of other Baldwin Motion builds planned or in mind as well. So, as you can tell, definitely one of my favorite cars, and with a whole fleet of them here. Anyways, that was a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun to get them all together here for you guys to see them all. And I got to rebuild this one. Not really rebuild this one. This is my original build, but it's definitely shows my skill set from back then, which is why I like it. And I have more kits of this one to build a better, fresher one of that one. And then that was the same thing with that Corvette right there. You know, I built the better replacement right there as far as more accurate and much more to my liking. But, you know, they both have their place in the history of my model kits and builds. So kind of enjoying them and having a blast here. But kind of neat to see this group shot right here. This is just fun to look at here. So all these Corvettes. How many is that? 5? Yeah, 5 Corvettes. I got to get some other ones in there. Definitely got to do a Nova, get one of those built. And believe it or not, I have a 70 Impala that I was kind of playing with to do a motion build with that. And I've got the 70.5 Camaro as well. A couple of those kits to build, but they're all piled up in my stash, and I'll get to them eventually, you know, how that goes. But you guys, hope you enjoyed this video and this build and everything. Thank you guys for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments, likes, shares, and subscribes and everything. I really do appreciate it. And you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.